Hey, it's Jeff, 650 Cycle, and today I'm working on a Honda, the four-wheel variety. This is my Honda Element, and I've decided to make a mini camper out of it. When I got the car, I was looking on YouTube at what people were doing with them, and seen a lot of people doing this. And I showed it to my wife, and she says, "Hey, that looks like fun. You should make one of those." So I'm in the process of making one. Let me walk you through what I'm working on today, and then we'll get busy with the rest of it. The Honda Element's pretty nice. It's big, open, square space. Fit stuff in here. Here's what I got going on. This is my frame, and it's going to slide in there, and I'm going to put that on the top of it with a piece that slides forward over the seats. That's where I'm at right now. I got all the holes drilled in this to mount that, but I got to get this set in there and figure out where that's got to go. So I got to get that piece cut, set this in, and then drill the holes and mount the board on this, and then I can work on the slide out piece.
Interesting.
I measured across there. I knew it was 4 feet, but from here to here is less than 4 feet. So I angled it in. I got it to fit. However, in order for it to come back to here, I'm going to have to notch these corners out so that I can slide it back, and then it's never going to be able to be put in while it's attached to the frame. It's going to have to, the frame's going to have to go in, and then this has to go in, or put this in and then slide the frame in, which might actually be easier. An unforeseen circumstance, but I'll handle it. I'm just going to mark this and figure out how far I want, cut these corners off, and then this will slide back. All right, hang on. All right, I got the tripod fixed. The GoPro fell off, and it actually broke the mount, so got a couple zip ties to the rescue. I got a little trick to put this in. I got to slide this all the way over and then angle it in, and it slides pretty good that way. Oh wow. Unanticipated. So what happened is when I put my hatch down, it pushed this forward. So I'm gonna have to see, I might have to put a brace under it. I was not expecting that at all. Let me close this. And then we're going to slide this back as far as it'll go, which is that far, which I'm over my front mount, so I can't have that. So I am going to, what am I going to do? Let me think about this for a second. I think what I'm going to do is just push this forward. This isn't mounted to anything. And if I just push this forward right about there and slide this back. I wasn't anticipating it hitting the hatch right there. But see, I got to have this lip here. Okay, right there is good. I got to put the camera down and do some manipulating in here and see what I can come up with. We're getting there. We're making progress. Got a couple things I got to check. I got to make sure this will fold down. I think the seat's got to go all the way forward and then fold down with the headrest off. Yeah. Ouch. Right there. Wow, does that not leave much clearance at all? Ooh. Alright, so the clearance I'm talking about is right here. My intent was to have it lay like this, and it's working. But what's going to happen is once I get this secured, then I'm going to have a piece on top that slides forward over these. That's going to come out. But then it'll come forward over the seats. And I haven't quite figured out how my support on this end. But this is our feet end, and we're going to sleep at that end. So I'm going to get underneath right now. I'm going to try to leave it right where it's at in the back. Kind of measure side to side, make sure I'm okay. And then mark my holes on this wood. I can get this wood secured. And then, well, I can mark the holes. I guess I don't need to drill it right now. I kind of want to set this front piece out, but I got to take this out in order to do it, and I'm not ready to take this out. So this might be all we get done today. I'll mark this and drill it. I can't take it out with it attached, so it has to come off of the frame in order for it to come out. Fun, fun. That's not too bad. It's pretty close. It really doesn't leave a whole lot of gap there, which is what I didn't want, was a huge gap. Have support here. I'm gonna take some measurements and get this centered and get everything centered. Make sure I'm okay, and then drill my holes. Yeah, it's pretty close right there. I'm going to close this, make sure this is back, and then I can open everything, mark my holes, pull it, drill it, and go from there. pushed it back. Check my side to side. It looks like it's off again. Check this. Alright, this is where it's going to sit. I've got a little bit of a gap here. I'm still supported with that angle iron right there, so I'm happy with that. When I close the lid, it goes against this. And up here, I have enough clearance to catch this and my seat back clears. Just barely, but it clears. Alright, so I'm going to get under, I'm going to mark where my holes go, pull this out again, drill it, and then put everything in and mount this board to my frame and possibly do the front one. This is too high, so I'm going to have to do something with that. Nothing is, like, my frame is not attached to anything. Honda put some little tie-down points on the sides, so I was just going to use that to keep it from sliding back and forth, but I really don't even think it's going to need that. But I'm going to mark those holes. Alright, I got my holes marked. And it's going to throw everything off because I got to slide the base sideways and then get this out, drill up my holes, put it back in, line everything up, and then put my mounts on there. So I'm going to do that. I didn't even need to re-drill it. I'm just using carriage bolts. I had them. So, decided I was going to use them. I don't think that one lines up very well. Let's see what I got 3 of them started. Oh, that one dropped right in. I'm better than I thought I was at drilling holes. Righty's handy, lefty loose. So here's a shot, the bed in the back. I'm about to put this piece in, and what this is going to do is going to slide forward. I'm probably going to have to cut length off of it, so maybe I should measure that first. And then I'm going to have just a couple carriage bolts that drop in here, I'll just snug them down. And again, I still haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do for support on the front, but this is the foot end, so maybe we don't need that much. I'm going to measure this, cut that other piece, and get it in here, see what happens. Thought I could get it on the other side of the steering wheel, but I can't on the underside. So I'm going to have to notch out the steering wheel as well. So let's go do that. I thought maybe I could get it to squeeze under the steering wheel, but it's not going to. So I'm going to mark this, and then I'm going to measure . Distance this way. I can go 37. So 37. Alright. Cut this out and then it'll fit. That is how it's going to fit. Again, that center console is going to come out. Modify it. I'm going to take the center console out so that I can actually get this to sit. I don't want this leaning, but it looks like it's going to angle down. My thought was to support this, I've got grab rails on either side, so just run a ratchet strap around it. It might give it a little bit of bounce, but I don't know, we'll try it. I think I'm going to take that center console out and then attach the back. Ultimately, this is how this is going to work. This is just going to slide back. And then these lift up and we drive away. Alright, now is going to be an authentic fit. See how it slides where it's supposed to. Oh yeah, there's no support up there at all. Your ratchet strap. All right, snug her up and see what happens. I don't love it, but it'll work. There's my marker. Where's my hole? Alright. I got the holes marked. I'm going to drill it and secure it, and then give it a test and see how I like this. This may not work. I may have to build something to go underneath this that sits right on the seats kind of thing. Easy enough. Let me drill those. Oops, too far. Alright. See if I can find the hole. that's all I gotta do every night is just slide this forward, wrap it like that. There's my bed. Let's see if I can get in and lie down and see if I can, now that I've made my bed, let's see if I can lie in it. How's that saying go? You've made your bed, now you gotta lie in it. Well, I've made my bed, let's see. There's actually a considerable amount of room. This is actually pretty stable down at the feet. That ratchet strap really holds. Like I said, it's your feet. It's got nice grab bars here. God, Honda thought of everything, didn't they? Got some nice grab bars here. I got room to stretch out. I'm gonna go get the wife and see what she thinks. I think it's gonna work really well. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I ran out of time yesterday and didn't get to do a big reveal for you, so I'm going to do the big reveal today. I got it a little bit more set up anyways, so let's get into it. I'm going to start with what I'm calling the drive mode, where it would be as we're driving down the road. So let's take a look. Pretty normal looking Element, right? Everything's where it's supposed to be. The seats are folded up, headrests are on. That's all good. Let's take a look. Take a look behind the seat. Got room back here. I got our bags sitting there. Of course, they're empty. I got 2 camp chairs and a tent in there. Got the tent just in case. I don't know. Maybe we need it, maybe we don't. And then I got my window shades right there, and we'll set those up in a minute. Yeah, it's pretty normal for just, you know, regular driving mode. That's where it sits. Let's go around the back here. Got the receiver rack. I just put 3 coolers on it. I don't know if we're going to need that many. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. This one's pretty big, but we'll see. Get her loaded up. I can access the interior, but I can't drop the gate with the coolers on here. So the coolers have to come off. The rack honestly is kind of in the way when the rack's off or when the trunk's down. There we go. We got our kitchen right here in our pantry. Got a couple bins in there. One's up behind the Blackstone. We got dishes, all that kind of stuff in there. Dry goods. That's our kitchen right there, the way it's going to sit. We went with the Blackstone because I have one at home, and I really like the way it works. And figured rather than washing dishes all the time, let's just do this. It cleans up pretty easy, and we'll go from there. I do have one of those burners that screws onto the top of one of those little propane canisters, and if we got to boil water or something, that's there. I'm going to leave this open for right now. This side, everything's open, right? Tucked up here. The thing that I kind of like about it is that it's not blocking any of my view back here. I can see when I'm driving, I can see out all of my windows without any problem. So let's drop this into sleep mode and see how easy that happens. You roll up after a long day of driving. You want to get some dinner going. Get your dinner out the back. Get your kitchen out the back. And then you can start dinner. Alright, I'm going to show you the quick and easy setup of the sleep platform here. First thing we need to do, the seats need to go all the way forward, the headrests off. And then they drop down. We'll do it on the other side. There, seats are down. I put in an extra piece of angle right here for this very purpose of sliding this part of the deck forward. And I really honestly, until I got it done, wasn't sure how all of this was going to work. This front part was something that it was working in my head, but I didn't know if it would work here. So let's slide that out. I'm storing my drop pins there. I'm going to take those out, pull that deck forward, and get it set up. Oh, I'm using a ratchet strap around my grab rails as extra support for the front. Talk about that in a little bit too. And that's it. Sleep mode is activated. Yeah, sleep mode is activated. These mats are only like 6 foot long. From here to the dash, on this side I've got 7 feet 10 inches. On this side I've got 7 feet 1 inch. So I have more than enough room for us to stretch out. I kind of like to stretch out lengthwise when I'm sleeping. Was a little concerned I wouldn't have enough room. But I do, and yesterday I was in here, my wife climbed up in with me, and we were fine, shoulder to shoulder. There was space between us, space to the edges, and there was plenty of room. We can lay pretty comfortably in here. I think it's going to work well. There we go. I can sit up very comfortably on my elbow without bumping my head, so it's not like I'm really squished in any way. It's very comfortable. Very nice. So I want to talk about this ratchet strap a little bit. I was unsure of how to create the support that this front decking needed. Knowing that our torsos are up at that end and our feet are down here, I didn't need a ton of support. So I felt like this was probably going to work, and it works better than I had thought. My wife climbed in yesterday, and it's not unstable, especially since I have it kind of bolted in the back. It's not shaky or anything like that. Pretty easy access. It worked pretty well. I'm going to activate dark mode. I can't remember what this stuff is called. I got it at Menards. It's used for insulating like duct work and stuff. So a big roll of it was 20 bucks. And I had more than enough to do this. I could have done the front windshield, but it was just seemed to be easier if I just bought one. So I do have one for the front. Let me show you how they install. I have them marked left and right, and I don't really have at the moment they're just press fit, but I am buying some suction cups to hook them to get them to stick to the window. Kind of cozy in here. This is, I don't know, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and you know, I got a little bit of light coming through. But I can fix most of that. Get the suction cups and it'll stick closer to the window. I guess the big thing is that you can't see out, can't see in. These windows are tinted, and so there's a natural block there, but if you get a light on in here, then it's going to shine right through. So this just kind of a window shade. Keep the outside from looking in. These beds are actually more comfortable than I thought. I tried it in the living room. I was like, this isn't very comfortable, but it's working really well right here. My concern with these side windows, I'm going to pop those open for ventilation, and then I need to make a screen that goes around it to keep the bugs out, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that with having some kind of blocker. I might just have to have a piece of fabric laying across there or something. So I've not perfected this yet. The other thing that's a little tricky is getting out. Isn't like incredibly easy. It's not super difficult, but it's not incredibly easy. Time for breakfast. Rise and shine. Wakey, wakey, hands off snaky. And from the outside with shades on it, it's really all you see. Pretty well set up. I'm super happy with this. Super happy. Alright, let's talk about the build of this and cost and all of that. So, let's get into it. I use angle iron bed frame. It's like 1.5 inch angle. It's just bed frame, and welded it together. If you don't have the capability of welding, I think a 2x3 would be fine there. I don't know if I would go 2x4. It would take up a little more space and probably add some weight. Not that I was trying to save weight, but when I got to remove this, then I don't want that weight. Didn't pay anything for that, but I'll give a total cost what I think it probably would be at the end. I used 3/4 inch plywood. It was $43 a sheet, and I already had the fasteners. I just used some carriage bolts that I had. I had to notch the back out. I had to notch the front for the dash. There we go. The window shades, the stuff on the sides that was in a roll, that was $20, and that one up front was, I think, $7. So overall, I'm really not into it that much. I got the receiver rack on sale at Harbor Freight and Hobo Freight. I would estimate that this build is probably around $200 to $300 if you were to buy all of these supplies separately. Obviously, I've got a little more cost. I bought the Blackstone, I bought the sleeping mats. The sleeping mats, I think, were like $55 a piece on Amazon. They're better, in my opinion, they're better than an air mattress. I can't stand sleeping on air mattresses. And like I said, with the Blackstone, pretty easy cleaning process, so we're not spending a lot of time in our evening cleaning up dinner. I got a couple camp chairs and a tent that I purchased. Even with the things I did purchase just for this, like these and the camp chairs and stuff, I'm still less than, I'm gonna say less than $300. So a camper for $300, you can't beat that, can you? Really excited that this turned out as well as it did. I'm happy that this is working for the moment. I can't see it being, I can't see it not working. It's a little awkward, but it'd be nicer if it was a little more further forward, but I can work with it there. Pretty decent little camper. Alright, when I got this car, I went and was looking on YouTube, what are people doing with this? And I found this. People are making mini campers out of them. Showed my wife and she's like, that looks like fun. And I said, all right, I'll build one. Typically we've been going on a motorcycle for a few years, and so we're used to packing very light, and so mini camping is like, we've got a lot of extra room compared to what we do on a bike. Every video I watched, they had some really great ideas and very creative, but I saw a lot of stuff that I didn't need. So I looked at a couple things. I looked at what are we using this for, and I looked at I need to be able to remove this stuff when we're done camping. So the way we're using it is overnight camping. We're going to travel, we're going to find a place to stop and for the night. We'll make camp, and we'll pick up in the morning and take off and go to another place. We'll be at a different place. We'll be at a different place every night. Hey! Squirrel. We'll be at a different place every night, so we need to be able to set up and tear down really quickly. This is a matter of just sliding that front deck forward. It's a really simple setup, and it was just something I created in my mind. Not sure if it was going to work, but it works, and it works pretty well. So happy with that. I love those campers, the truck campers and people like that have the slide out kitchen on a drawer on a slide out. But as far as ease of removal, that just didn't fit in there. I think the bin system works better for me, just because it's easier to remove when we're done. All of this really didn't cost that much, so it was pretty economical to make this. Hopefully this video will at least serve as some inspiration for you. Maybe you have an element and you're thinking about doing this and just don't know how to get started, and this is a pretty simple build, and I think skill level would be very low on this. You know, if you've used a drill driver in the past, you could easily do this. You might have to cut a few pieces, get the drill driver out. That's about it. Really simple stuff. Pretty easy to build it, and as you saw, I had a couple adjustments along the way. These corners had to be notched. It wasn't something I had thought of, but it all worked out, and it all sits in here just the way I wanted it to, and it's working great. And like I said, I'm hoping it will be some type of inspiration for you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And I say it all at the end of all of my videos because it is in the end a motorcycle channel. If you're out riding, ride safe. If you're out camping, camp safe.